Hey there, Scott Silverian here, head of industry relations at Sierra Interactive, and I have a super special guest with me today that I love talking to, Lorraine Danielson. Lorraine is a powerhouse agent out of Dallas,
Georgia.
Georgia, which is just northwest of Atlanta, right? Right, Lorraine?
We are, yes,
Awesome,
we are
awesome.
definitely in the
Lorraine,
Peach.
you've been a long time Sierra client with us, and we really do appreciate that. Tell us before we get into the topic today, which is ranking in AI. Tell us a little bit about sort of your team, your business, what it looks like today.
We are, like you said, in Dallas, Georgia, and all of our business for my entire team comes from our sphere and comes from SEO. We don't do
Yeah.
any lead generation where we buy leads anymore.
Amazing, amazing. Um, I love that, right? Because we were talking a little bit before this, and there's a lot of talk in the industry, a lot of industry influencers talking about getting away from paid advertising, and there's really only a few ways to do that, right? Like, Sphere and organic lead gen are really the two top ways to do that, and you're doing that at a super super high level, especially leveraging your Sierra website and system to do that organic lead generation. So that's one of the things I want to talk to you about today, Lorraine. And you're ranking not only on Google search, when somebody searches, does a number of different searches that we'll talk about within your area, but you're ranking in the Google AI summaries as well.
I am. Really, the strategy was, and this has evolved over time, like everything does.
Sure.
But when we started realizing that the AI overview and now the AI mode, which are two different things in Google, was really what was driving people to find you, we started realizing we've got to create that content on Sierra that answered those questions. That's really
Okay.
it's as simple as that. It adjusts a little over time, and I feel like this will continue to evolve.
Sure.
But we now realize that everything we do, whether we do Google My Business, our website, everything feeds back to Sierra.
Okay.
But like YouTube, social media videos, everything has to be really, we have to feed Google what it wants the answer to be.
Okay, gotcha. And you mentioned the word strategy, and this is a very defined social media and SEO strategy you have in place, and it's super dialed in. And like you said, you continue to make tweaks because let's face it, the technology world is changing all the time. So walk us through how you're figuring out what Google wants to hear and what you're doing with that information.
Well, I'm going to pop up and share my screen real
Sure.
quick.
That sounds good.
And this is probably the easiest way to show someone. Um, and there's two ways to look at it. We search, which is regular Google, but that sometimes knows what we want to search all the time. So it will serve up to you what it thinks you want to see, which is yourself.
Right. Right.
Basically. So one of the best things I tell everybody to do is go into incognito mode.
Okay.
So for most people, if you're in Chrome and then you'll go into a new incognito, and this is stripped down. This isn't your ego getting fed, right? This is literally what somebody would see as a consumer.
Okay.
And this is also what somebody could see in another state if you're looking for real clients,
Okay.
right? And then I also tell them get off your computer sometimes and go to your phone because that answer may look different.
Okay.
So right now I'm in incognito and we pulled this up as an example and we typed in sell my Dallas, Georgia home. I
Right.
also for list my Dallas, Georgia home. Right here are some ads. Google's, you're never going to be an ad if it's a keyword somebody buys. So people actually buy this, right, Scott? You guys
Yep.
at Sierra, somebody wants to run one of these ads, you can help them do that too,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
And so this is who's buying ads right now. But below that is now an AI overview. So I find a lot of consumers don't, they feel like they know this is an ad, right? So they
Sure.
don't always want to hire a local agent based off an ad. And these are all selling your house fast for cash anyway. But in this AI overview, it now tells you what it thinks is important. And so when you click into this, this is me ranking. This is me ranking. The goal is I literally want to rank for all the answers. And these are and I don't want to be the solution.
Right, right. So Google is, for those of you that haven't seen it, Google's now serving up this information, and if you can see it next to at the end of each line is a little link icon, which then links to other pages on the internet, which is where Lorraine is ranking, which is amazing, to be honest with
And so my strategy really is we look at this. I have somebody that helps me write my blogs. And she and I will come in here and we go, okay, I'm not the solution right now, the answer for this. Then this is my next blog. And we just copy this. We do everything with ChatGPT. We do know when it serves up something incorrect, which it will from time to
you.
time.
Okay,
It generally is neighborhood driven. Like it doesn't always, um, it doesn't know the best neighborhoods. That's where you're the expert,
okay,
right?
gotcha.
And then I did niche down. We keep saying I'm in Dallas, Georgia. I'm not trying to rank for Atlanta, Georgia, even though it's an hour away, hour and a
Okay,
half. I'm trying to rank very, very small niche down city and county. As you can see, this is Paulding County, and then that's homes for sale. But we've done everything in Dallas, Georgia, and Paulding County.
gotcha.
Um,
Okay,
and that's really going to help you rank as well. Like you've got to niche down. Do I service outside of this city and this county? Absolutely.
yeah,
But I need to be the answer for as many things as possible. As you can see, I'm the answer for all three of those,
amazing.
two of those, all of that. So really, right now, I'm literally the answer for pretty much everything.
That's incredible. So this is basically you're acting like a consumer, searching for sell my home in Dallas, Georgia, seeing what Google's going to serve up to that consumer, taking that information and breaking it down into separate blog posts. So you're answering these questions on your own, and you're writing those blogs on Sierra, obviously.
Yes.
Um, and it sounds like you're using AI to write the posts, but there is human intervention. You can't just like write AI, copy paste, and put it into Sierra.
No, no. And then you have to be smart. And, in the sense that um, you've got to realize that you got to drive everything back to some major landing pages for
Okay.
keywords.
Okay.
So there is some SEO knowledge a little bit, but I think the average agent can totally do this.
Okay.
Um, and I'll show you my website real quick. And this is the main pages we drive everything back to. And the amazing thing is Sierra will let you do it so easily. Like you don't need to be an SEO expert. You don't need to be a web designer. I literally have drop downs. It's moved to Dallas, Georgia, things to do, sell your home, buyers.
Yeah.
And we drive everybody back to our Dallas, Georgia page, our Paulding County page with
Mhm.
hyperlinks in the blogs. And then list your Dallas, Georgia, list your Paulding County, you know, Georgia home, sell
So
your Dallas, Georgia home.
so it sounds like although you've got a lot of pages built out on your site in different areas and different neighborhoods and things like that, when you're writing and focusing on your strategy at this time, you're really focusing on those two pages and driving traffic to those two pages.
Yeah, I mean, like here's luxury homes for sale in Dallas, Georgia.
Sure.
So when we've got that, everything is going to link back, see, to Paulding County.
Love it.
We're
Love
going
it.
to link it back to, homes for sale in Dallas, Georgia. This is
Yep.
geared to buyers, but, and this is us, my name. So we
Yeah.
have to link everything back to those. And that's that linking strategy.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
I rank every time those terms come up.
Yeah, I love that, and one of the things I love to highlight for people who aren't familiar with Sierra is that you didn't put HTML coding in any of this stuff, right? Like the way the Sierra backend is structured, it's really copy paste, add some links in, and things like that. So you don't have to be a programmer or a coder or understand code to create content and create pages in Sierra, which is one of the things that I love as well.
I love that. And one of the great things is in ChatGPT, there is a prompt that you go into. It's called a one click, and it's to write literally like a blog. And it will create all your H1 tags, all the H2s. So if you don't do SEO, basically it's an H1 tag is the most important thing to
Mhm.
somebody.
Hmm.
right? That's the one thing they're really searching. And then it breaks it into sections. So that might be an H2 tag. An H2 tag is just a subcategory. Think of it
Gotcha.
that way. It's
Yep.
almost like chapters in a book,
Yep.
right? This is the title of the book. I love this title, right? This captured my attention. Now these are the different chapters, and it will create that. I can copy that straight into Sierra, and I don't have to know coding. I don't have to know what an H1 H2
Right.
tag
Right.
between
Or
Sierra and Chat.
metadata.
They literally do it. And
Right.
then I go in and it say, I want the best metadata description. I want the meta keywords.
Yep.
ChatGPT gives it to me, and I just copy and paste straight into Sierra in that little block.
Yep.
And you don't have to be an expert to do it,
I love that.
but it will rank you. And I did one the other day. I ranked in 9 hours for one of the subjects we wanted.
Amazing.
9 hours. It used to take months to
Sure.
get that kind of SEO out of working it.
Hmm.
And we literally did one blog, and in 9 hours, I now was the answer for one of the um, one of the key terms that we were looking up. This is the regular view. It's showing my Google My Business, but I literally ranked for one of the topics that attached to list your Dallas, Georgia home.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, in regards to topics, and there's so many things that you could write blogs on or focus on. Again, real estate agents aren't always creative in coming up with or thinking through what they should be writing on, right? Like they think they know, and I can say this because I am an agent. They think they know, but maybe, really, to your point, Google is showing that people are looking for something else. Show us if you still have it up, the pros and cons and how you got to that, because I love that.
Sure. Let's do that. I'll go into
Because
incognito.
list my Dallas, Georgia home, like that's a pretty, I'd say that's standard phrase, right? Like that I think agents or a lot of people out there would think about. But this one I thought was super creative.
So, a lot of people, one of the top things people search, nobody buys an ad for this. So, this is super easy to rank as an agent. Is pros and cons of living in Dallas, Georgia. And so, here's the AI overview, like I said. And then this is me.
Right. Both
Um,
both both seats there you have.
yes, I have all the seats. And if you come here, community, feel I'm one, two. There's my YouTube video. There's
Amazing.
another one. There's another guy. He snuck in there. He's I'm this answer and I'm this answer. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty much every answer there is. And also I'm this.
right.
So I'm the
Right.
first person and then the videos.
Yeah.
I'm pros and cons here. So I'm almost the answer literally for anything to do with this. And this just came because if you're structuring a blog, whatever AI tells you this is important to know, write a blog about it. Literally.
Gotcha.
Write a blog that's all the pros and cons, and then write a separate blog that's each thing. Write a blog about the lower cost of living. Write
Hmm.
a separate blog about family friendly environment. It literally tells you that's how I'm the answer for everything. I have answered all the things AI thinks is important.
Yeah.
Not that Lorraine Danielson thinks is important,
Right. Right.
but Google thinks that somebody has searched that because somebody searched lower cost of living in
Yeah.
Dallas. Like somebody else wanted this information, and I'm now going to provide that to someone. That's
Right.
all this is I look and see what it wants to know, and then I provide that information.
That's awesome. I love using AI. A lot of people, at least me, when I think of using AI for writing blogs, I think about it for writing the actual blog content, not for sourcing the topic of what the content should be written about. So that's awesome. And if you're not doing that already, you definitely should start looking at doing that for
Well,
sure.
and here's the cheat. So if you are starting your journey on this,
Hmm.
copy this, put it in ChatGPT, and say, tell me all the blogs I need to write based on what Google AI overview thinks is important.
Yeah,
It will give you a list of every blog for you to write.
that's amazing. That's super cool. So that's a great point. Like if you know, obviously agents are out there. There's some agents that are at your level and they're blogging consistently, and then as you sort of step down, you've got agents that they just need to sell houses. You know, they're thinking, gosh, I don't have time for this. You know, what's some advice you would give to them to help start showing up consistently in doing this and driving their brand and driving organic traffic?
First of all, I would start with your drop downs, like I have.
Okay,
Create your main pages. You don't have to have as many as I have to start with. Have
sure.
your main keywords, topics that you're going to
Mhm.
do your drop downs. And then from there, do one a day. It'll take you probably with Seer and Chat GPT between 15 and 30 minutes to do one a day. You're going to have some images. Don't overthink your images. My images are a picture of somebody moving. Like we'll look at one of the blogs here real quick, but pros and cons of living in Dallas, Georgia. I just took a Google map view
Sure.
and put some words in Canva over it. Like, don't
Yeah.
overthink it.
Yeah.
If it's moving to the location, go to Canva and get somebody that's got packing boxes,
Mhm.
right? Like, and don't overthink your picture has to be hyper local
Okay.
for you to rank. It's the words they're reading, right? Google reads your words on your pictures. Make
Gotcha.
one blog a day. At the end of 365 days, you'll own your area for
That's a lot
sure.
of
It's
blogs.
1 year of your life writing one blog a day.
Yeah.
You can carve out, if you want to do this, one blog a day.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
we
just like I said, have that strategy where it'll tell you which ones to write. And then just make sure you're staying in tune as time goes by. Has
yeah.
AI overview changed words? Does it care about something different? But I have a girlfriend I'm helping in Canton, Georgia, and she just started 2 weeks ago doing this. And we were so excited this week. We have her now ranking on one of the on like she's ranking now where she can see herself in a couple of the links.
Amazing. And that's got
Um,
to be super satisfying for her and you.
it is.
That's
It
great.
is.
Yeah,
Just
that's super
because
cool.
she's starting it out, and I told her, I said, what will a year later look like? I know
Yeah.
that's a long strategy for a
Yeah.
lot of people. We want
Yeah.
something immediate. But when you're the only solution, people just call you and say, "Hey, I need to list my
Yeah.
house."
Yeah.
I
It's really like building a flywheel, right? Because you're either good, I mean, to go get immediate business is very hard to find anywhere, and it's not never free, right? So, I mean, I can feel some of the agents watching this rolling their eyes like, oh my God, I don't have time. How am I going to do this and whatnot? You know, to your point earlier, like, and there was a coach that once said this, you're either going to spend sweat equity or you're going to spend check equity. So you're either going to be buying your leads and, you know, the quicker the further down the funnel and the quicker you want that business, the more expensive the lead is going to be.
well, and
Or
buying a lead doesn't mean it converts. I
that's
mean,
exactly right.
I've done that strategy for years. Think you guys have a white paper that I did
Yep.
years ago when I had 18 agents and we bought leads.
Yep.
And even buying them, you still have to convert them. Even if
Right.
you do Zillow and you're
Right.
a preferred partner, you still have to convert that lead
That's
and you still
exactly
have to
right.
get a closing table. But
Yep.
at the closing table, they're taking 35% from you.
Right. Right.
Do
And
you want
even
to do that, or do I want to beat Zillow? And I beat Zillow
yeah.
right now in my area.
Yeah. And a lot of the on top of that, you know, when I was a coach, I would quote, and even today I quote some of our customers, look, pay per click works. It's a 12 to 18 month timeline to convert a pay per click lead on average, right? So there's there's the timeline for that. And a lot of the content that you're talking about creating is evergreen content. It's not one off things, right? It's stuff that's going to live there forever that people are going to continue to find. So you're now building this business flywheel, if you will, which takes time to build, it takes time to get moving, and you may not see results right away. And but if you continue to do it, like you said, one a day, 365 days later, I mean, you've got a major, major website.
Well, and I, I, I started off on a team where we dialed for hours a day. I've done that. I've bought leads. I've done everything. I've done Zillow
Sure.
Realtor. You know what I mean? Like if you do this long enough at a high enough level, you're gonna buy leads somewhere in the beginning.
Hmm.
I didn't want to do that anymore. I wanted to come from my sphere and be like somebody that came from my sphere. And
Gotcha.
the difference here is I'm not getting 3, 5, 20 leads a day. I'm just getting someone who calls and said, "Hey, I'm looking to list my home." And I don't even have to ask them where they came from anymore. I know they
Yeah.
found me and I'm not competing. They usually are not interviewing someone else. And the
Amazing.
other thing that I've started getting is people who have listed because the market shifted, right? Houses are sitting.
Yep.
So they might have been on the market for 6 months with another agent, and that agent wasn't local. So they're very driven to that, and they want somebody locally who knows the market, and they want to sell their house, and they're ready to do what they need to do to sell it because you're the second
Hmm.
agent.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of, I have some things built for like downsizing.
Yep.
So I get a lot of people who are helping their parents relocate, whether it be to a 55 plus neighborhood, moving in with them, assisted living, or they've
Yeah.
passed.
Gotcha.
And those are very targeted because they're out of state, and those kids who are in their 50s, right, probably 40s, 50s, are looking for solutions for their parents'
Yeah.
home, and
Yeah.
they want a local agent. So that's the other content that I've been able to, but they're targeted and they don't, like I said, I'm not really almost interviewing. They just, I got to list my house. How do
You
we do
got the job already. That's
that?
amazing. That's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
Lorraine, this has been awesome. We talked a little bit about the ease of using Sierra and doing what you want to do. How else has Sierra played a role in building up your business and the success that you've achieved?
I always say if you guys decide to go out of business one day, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well,
Really
we don't
don't.
plan on doing that, so you're okay.
Everything is funneled back to you guys. Whether I do my business, everything that we do links back to you guys. Even YouTube, like my social media strategy, we push everything back to Sierra.
Okay.
That's the building block. That's the knowledge base that clients, even even if I'm working with a client out in the area, I have built into my Sierra all the parks, schools, education. I have a flip book that links back to all those tabs
Hmm.
filled out. So when they're coming to buy a home and they tell me what they want, I can send it. If we're out house shopping and they're doing a relo and they want to run off some energy with their kids, I'm like, here's all the parks close by. It makes me look so professional,
Hmm.
so knowledgeable about the area. So even if you don't want to do SEO, but you want to build out your area and be able to easily send somebody a link to something,
Yeah.
it's there.
Yeah.
You look like the professional and the pro that you really want to be, right?
Amazing.
But I would tell anybody that's using this, and I have friends in other systems, right? I always tell them you're never going to rank the same
Okay.
as when you're in Sierra. You're never going to be able to build up that content as easy. Like they'll ask me for help, and Sierra is probably one of the easiest on the back end to also navigate.
Sure, sure. And we were talking before about the way we are able to index our site because it is proprietary technology that we're built on. We're not built on anybody else. So that is one of the main reasons why we give you such a lift in building out your content is our
I
indexing
built uh,
capabilities.
I built one of the topics the other day, and in 9 hours I ranked. That
Yeah,
used to take 2 months. I literally wrote a blog, and like I said, one of those things we wanted to rank for because I wasn't. The minute I realized I'm not the link, that's my next
you get
blog.
upset, right?
Hours I was the blog, and I'm
Yeah,
working to get buyer leads. Like we rank somewhat on the buyer lead, but that's heavily bought, right? Buy a
okay.
home in Dallas, Georgia. Buy
Yeah,
a home in 30157 zip code.
okay.
We are building a strategy for that. That's what everybody buys those ads for. So if
Sure.
I can rank for those key terms with you guys, that's one of the things we also ranked really quick in a
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
That's the money that I mean, think about this. What if you didn't spend two, five, $10,000 a month buying a lead? Somebody just called you up.
Right.
Would you take 3 leads a week? that just called and wanted to use you, or would you spend $10,000 and just call through people who don't even realize they registered on your
Sure.
site?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a business decision that people have to make, but that's great. Well, Lorraine, this has been awesome. I really appreciate your time. We love having you as a client, and I love seeing how you're just maximizing the capabilities of Sierra, and really staying on top of the technology in the space. So, if anybody's watching this, if you want more information on Sierra, we're going to put some information here following. You can set up a demo with our team and find out more. Lorraine, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.